How should the system have supported our family is a complex question. And again, it was a process, but first of all, one of the big things about the changes I hope to see in the mental health system is that families will be listened to, because we felt that we were often treated as a nuisance rather than help. And who knew Anna better than we did? And yet, when we tried to tell people how sick she was, we just weren't believed. And this is something I heard again and again with other witnesses with lived experience at the Royal Commission. But in a way we were lucky because we did have support. My husband's very supportive, my other daughter, Anna's sister, we had each other. I had a close circle of girlfriends who were very, never judged us, even after Anna went to prison for murder. They were still very close and supportive. But I really feel for people who don't have the kind of support that we did. You know, it must be terrible to try to negotiate that system if you're a single parent or a spouse trying to help for a mentally ill person. It must be horrific. Well, we couldn't say, I love the public health system in many ways in Victoria, and when Anna was a teenager, it came through for us brilliantly. When she nearly died of anorexia and was hospitalized. That's when she met Dr. Deb Wilson, who doesn't mind us using her name, it's in my book. She's become very close to our family, and she guided Anna through her teenage years. So Anna not only had the period of hospitalization when she was released from hospital, she saw Dr. Deb once a week at Broadmeadows Health Centre, and she also saw a psychologist at the Children's Hospital. So she was an outpatient until she was 18, which was great. But it was only once she became an adult, technically an adult at 18, all those services cut out, and that's when it became really difficult to access help for her. Why the system was not able to help us is a very good question and huge. I believe, as Patrick McGorry has said many times in his interviews, that when the mental health system was deinstitutionalized, it was a great idea in many ways, because we don't like to see people put in institutions and forgotten about. But the idea was that community care would take over, and that really hasn't happened. I mean, when we were desperate for help with Anna, community care was just not, it was just a joke for us. I mean, the CAT team, the crisis assessment team, would be sent out, but Anna would either not be at our house or she'd be comatose, because she took so many drugs that she was often literally, you couldn't rouse her. I mean, she would like collapse on a floor somewhere, and her father, who even then was in his early 60s, would, he was a strong guy, he would have to carry her home, or so how's a CAT team going to help in that situation? They would just, come 3 times. 1 time she wasn't there, 2 times she was in a coma. That's called 3 failed visits, no coming back. So, community care was just ridiculous. And on several occasions, she was admitted into acute psychiatric wards or taken to an emergency department by the police. And each time she was either sobered up the same day and sent home with us, or spent a few days in the psych ward and then was out on the street. I mean, what kind of community care is that? So it's just, ridiculous. And so, the system just doesn't work for someone who is as sick as Anna. She needed to be hospitalized. And some of the professionals said that to me directly. They said, this girl should be in a hospital. She needs care for months. 2 years, one professional said. But they had no right or they couldn't admit her, even though they knew that she needed to be there. So